Thank you very much for this very exciting concept. So from an NGO perspective, we obviously greatly appreciate a heavyweight organization like Google to demand climate neutrality and in particular renewable energy. With nuclear and CCS as clean electricity sources, as Germanwatch, we cannot fully agree, but let's put this aside for the moment. My Zoom is acting up at the moment. Can you give me a signal that you can still hear me?
You are
okay. Thank you.
perfect.
I cannot see anyone, so let me know if there is anything. Okay.
All good.
What I really like about this concept is that it challenges the status quo, and it asks precisely the important question: how to have renewable electricity 24/7 in the case of a system with renewable electricity. And this is the riddle that needs to be solved. And we already heard a lot of aspects of how this could be solved. Now, I was asked to give some reflection from the perspective of stakeholders or local actors. And an aspect that's important, nevertheless, is what will Google use the electricity for? So, and whatever you do as Google, be aware that particularly local actors will eventually ask this question with regard to the business case of Google, basically, and the monopoly position that Google has in many data aspects. So a colleague of mine is working on concepts on how the digitalization can be both democratic and sustainable. And with that respect, from a German NGO perspective, that is a relevant aspect. And coming back to electricity, 24/7 renewables, the intuition I had when listening was we heard a lot about certificates now. And this actually, or basically, means that you've put a lot of brain power into a system which tells you that the electricity you used was 24/7 clean. Now, thinking of 2030, from an NGO perspective, it would be much more beneficial for society to put all this brain power into the question how to have a completely renewable and clean system where you don't actually need the certificates, because whatever you get from this grid will be clean. So thinking more into this direction, also with regard to policies that will be requested and so on, would make an interesting twist to the story, basically. One last aspect is you mentioned additionality as a principle for the concept. And I was thinking a bit, would it be the case then that we installed a wind farm for Google, basically? And if that's the case, what I said earlier, that people who live there will judge the project not only by the fact that it's going to be wind turbines next to their houses, but also who the wind turbines will be for. And this is just a reflection from the discussion about renewable expansion in Germany, particularly. It's very difficult to put up turbines already, and having that dimension that it's particularly for one company, I think would add a dimension that would make it even harder. So reflecting a bit on, is this a Google thing? Is this an exclusive Google thing, basically? Or will you team up with other companies, or will you team up with other organizations to make this basically the societal endeavor that it should be from a Paris Agreement perspective? That would be very, very helpful from my point of view. But yeah, thank you very much for pushing this discussion already. I mean, the fact that we have this event today, for example, is already a very good outcome of you pushing for 24/7 clean or renewable energy. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Eva. You said you could not see me, which is a great trick to overcome my timekeeping, but you are super punctual.